Okay, I got a present from somebody who ordered me something off my Amazon wish list. And it is a singing bowl set. I opened it. It says, singing bowls also create the healing bowls, can be traced back to Asia as early as 2000 BC. They are made of an alloy of 7 different metals connected to 7 astrological planets, which create a range of different sounds and overtones. Those 7 metals are gold as sun, silver as moon, mercury as Mercury, copper as Venus, iron as Mars, tin as Jupiter, lead as Saturn. Some singing bowls should consist of only 5 metals. These bowls' format, depth, color, girth, and composition are variable. Singing bowls can be used as vessels to cook, as offering bowls, as beat instruments, and for meditation of relaxation. Bowls have a double effect with sound and vibration. Science has confirmed that music, as an organized form of sound, can directly affect mood, brain waves, the nervous system, and the body chemistry. Music plays a key role in the religious and spirituals of many cultures. Music is still applied to aid. The vibrations of singing bowls stimulate the body to recreate its own harmonic frequency and help produce the alpha waves that are present in the brain in deep relaxation. Singing bowls of all sizes are said to clean the atmosphere around us of negative energy and emotional blockages. Many people feel they are touched and cleaned in their soul when they listen to the sound of the singing bowls. As some people describe it, time stands still, a feeling of peace, relief in aching parts of the body, or contact with something beyond daily life. It is said that renowned masters of sound among Tibetan lamas have used singing bowls in secret rituals. They have traveled out of the body through the power of sound. If you find out a real original singing bowl, you can use singing bowls instead of a cup of coffee to help you digest lunch, to help you sleep, and to help you recover from illness. Tibetan bowls are of Nepalese origin and are used by Newari people, I think I'm reading this right, during their ritual fire ceremony. There is a link between bowls and the Ayurvedic approach of music therapy and Ayurvedic medical care. In this bowl, eating dishes for pregnant women in Nepal. Yeah, this is really neat. Okay, in this context, bowls should be used to restore the loss of minerals and metal. There are usually 5 basic techniques for playing the bowls: beating, encircling, adding of water, adding of toneless bowls, spinning. I actually watched a YouTube video on some of the stuff you can do, and I'll demonstrate it. Origin of bowls: Mongolian, Tago, Indian, and Chinese. I can't read this. Kashmir, Newt, Indian, Gautam, Himalayan, kitchen bowls. Okay. Okay. Let me just show you what they do. Here's the bowl. I find it makes the best noises when I put it inside this ring and hold it like this. And then there are 2 things. That's very relaxing. And you can kind of like go around like this. And it makes a noise. You can, and you focus on the noise, the ding, see? Can you hear that? So you focus on the sound and you help that to get into a meditation mode. Here's another one. Well, thank you. Oh, let me read you the note that came with it. Thank you for everything you do for this world. Here's a little gift to show my appreciation from Troy. Thank you, Troy. I believe it's one of my Patreon supporters. I appreciate that. And yes, I've got a beautiful view from my window where I can see some low-lying mountains. And I might just hold this in my hand and go like this. These bowls are used by Buddhists and some Hindus too. Hindus can do this too because the Hindus do meditation as well. Very relaxing sound. Okay, I would like to, yes, thank you so much. So I've got 2 of these. I'll probably put it by my bed, and I might do this right before I go to bed to help me to relax. Wonderful gift. Thank you so much. I am incorporating Buddhism and Hinduism into my Christianity. I had a conversation with Brent on Skype about that, and I wanted to read it to you because I think you might find it interesting. Let's see. I was thinking, when Jesus builds from the Gail Commandments, he could add further documents called Important Truths or something like that and put in principles of meditation, Zen Buddhism, Hinduism, and other faiths that he wants to integrate into the Gail Commandments. I just listened to yesterday I was listening to the tenets of Buddhism and Hinduism. By the way, Brent lives in this apartment with me. He might even be here with me. And there's lots I like about each of these, but I think we need to branch off and create our own religion based off the Gail Commandments that adds in some stuff we like about Buddhism, Hinduism, and other faiths that also have important truths. And I'd like to say that we saved Jesus' life by building his chakras through Buddhist meditation techniques. Yeah, because I found that I had to stop reading the Bible because Baphomet put a spell on all the pages of my Bible, so that if I read the Bible, I would get interpretations from Baphomet. So I had to stop reading my Bible and actually use Buddhist meditation to save Jesus' life. Because my Gail Shield is an extension of Jesus. So we saved Jesus' life by using Buddhist meditation. So this stuff really works. So I was thinking that we could create our own religion based off the Gail Commandments that adds in some new stuff we like about Buddhism, Hinduism, and other faiths that also have important truths. This way we can eliminate stuff that we disagree with, like I didn't want to emphasize reincarnation. And we could say the Bible is good for history lessons and so forth. We could give guidelines on how to approach the Bible and say that the prophecies have been canceled. We could teach about meditation, being present, which is something Buddha really emphasized. I'm getting a little hot. I'm going to, I'm surprised. Let me make it a little bit cooler in here. But yeah, Buddha really emphasized being present. And he said that's very important in meditation, and he said it scares away demons, evil spirits. There's definitely something to this because Jesus was in a coma, and he was getting better when we did this stuff. We could encourage the parts of Hinduism we like I really like the Hindu emphasis on diversity, tolerance, and so forth. I told Brent I wasn't sure how I felt about the Hindu concept of karma, but that it's kind of parallel to the Christian belief in cause and effect, or being punished for our sins, you know. I personally am going in the direction, in my own faith, of mindful meditation, practicing authenticity and honoring our uniqueness, and being tolerant and encouraging of diversity, and supporting true and free love in all its forms. I also believe that the Bible is a truthful account of history, except the prophecies will no longer be fulfilled. So this means we believe in the existence of Satan, that Jesus is the Son of God the Father, but we will also mention that other deities exist and have viable religions that can help you. And this is where we encourage diversity and tolerance. The Bible is not a complete account of history, however, and for this people need to follow me at my website and my online presence. Important truths could be recommendations and not commandments, like recommendations we've learned from Buddha, Lakshmi, who's a goddess, like encouragement to live a balanced life from Buddha, encouragement to be our authentic true selves from Lakshmi. Lakshmi is Hindu, by the way, and to engage and to not engage in sex or love in a manner that betrays our inner core or true self, etc. We could even give credit to Buddha and Lakshmi and say these are points where we are in agreement with these other gods or goddesses, and that you can be a Christian and still practice parts of other faiths that honor eternal truths and wise conduct. We could come up with a doctrinal statement too, like we could say we believe in the existence of heaven and hell. We could explain that the way to heaven is to honor true love and have love intentions in our life, that hell exists for those who go against true love, etc. That when you go to hell, it's not always forever. This is correct, by the way, and things like that. The doctrinal statement should guide us in proper interpretation of the Bible, emphasizing the prophecies are no longer valid because God the Father canceled the prophecies. That God the Father is the most supreme deity, but there are an infinite number of deities in the universe. Talk about a mind-blowing faith, we'd be covering all the bases. Like we could study the Dallas Theological Seminary doctrinal statement and correct it where it's wrong. It's one of the better ones, but because the prophecies have been canceled, it needs to be corrected. There could even be a set of new prophecies that would result from the new Christianity. We would call this advanced Christianity or something like that. Possible names for the new Christian faith could be developed Christianity, advanced Christianity, higher Christianity. Higher Christianity sounds like a cool name for the rebranded Christianity. I believe God the Father canceled the Bible because Jesus was a hypocrite to his own religion. As long as we are consistent to what we state we believe, anything goes, as long as it's loving, authentic, and truthful. Anyways, it may be too soon for all this, but this is all food for thought. Jesus still needs to find himself. My biggest hang-up with both Buddhism and Hinduism, it's kind of like past tense because Brent and I talked about this, was their belief in reincarnation. That's why I thought we should have a new version of Christianity where we incorporate a bunch of Buddhist and Hindu stuff and leave out the reincarnation. Other than that, I thought Zen Buddhism and Hinduism are pretty cool. I told Brent, I don't think I can get into Islam. The idea of blowing oneself up seems kind of insane to me. But like a Hindu, I can show respect for Muslims, but that doesn't mean I have to be one. Brent told me that with the Eastern religions, reincarnation is considered a choice or is sometimes just used allegorically to mean transformation of the self. So I said, what do they mean by transformation of the self? And how can you allegorically transform yourself? So let's say you die. Does this mean your soul does not go to heaven, that it must return to earth? What if you don't want to return to earth and you want to stay in heaven? And this is my hang up with reincarnation. It seems like it's depriving a soul of living in heaven. That the only way to heaven is to escape the reincarnation cycle by reaching some sort of nirvana or totally obeying your dharma like in Hinduism. It's like your punishment for not doing good karma, which is in Hinduism, is to be stuck in reincarnation when you die, whether you like it or not. In this respect, I like the Christian belief better, because in the Christian belief, if you are saved, you go to heaven when you die. You don't have to endure reincarnation cycles as punishment for not being perfect or close to perfection. Also, if you go into another body, doesn't that change who you are? Isn't that a form of negating your true person? How can the soul have integrity in this situation? It's true we all change and evolve as people in our lifetime, but it seems in reincarnation you actually become another person in the next life. It's like the soul does not have integrity with this concept. It's like this, that who we are is fluid, and it seems to take away from individuality and uniqueness. So those were my hang-ups with reincarnation. For instance, my stepdad is in heaven now. I'm not sure he'd want to return to earth to live with my mother. My mother's a narcissist. After being in heaven, laugh out loud, I told this to Brent. Also, if you are reincarnated, does this mean you cannot have a soulmate? Do you take the soulmate with you to the next version of yourself? And remember that Jesus said he allowed my stepdad to die to give him a vacation, probably a vacation from my mother. Yeah. I'm really attached to the idea of having an eternal soulmate. In fact, this may be part of the reason Jesus created Christianity, because he's the God of true love. Buddha's the God of free love. It's also comforting to Christians to know they will meet their departed loved ones. Satan's making me cough. In heaven someday. How can reincarnation be comforting? Oh, Satan, go away, it's making me cough. How can reincarnation be comforting when your loved ones pass away? How can you be sure you will see them again? Oh, Satan! Also, if my Oshu Fujiwara Buddhist ancestors are in heaven now, and they are, even Buddha and Jesus have verified that, aren't we lying if we say they got reincarnated? Or did they go to heaven because they reached some sort of nirvana and did not need to be reincarnated? Either way, I told Brent, I have a lot of problems with reincarnation, as you see. I guess the comfort in death is that we will all eventually reach that state of close to perfection where we will get to heaven, but then we would be in heaven, not earth. So aren't we lying when we say the soul got reincarnated? Also, I kind of like the idea of getting to heaven right away and not having to endure endless cycles of reincarnation before getting there. Why does the pathway to eternal bliss have to be so arduous? And then I said to Brent, if reincarnation is a choice and the soul can decide whether or not they want to be reincarnated, how does that work? You mean when someone dies, they can ask God if he will allow them into heaven now, or if they would prefer reincarnation instead? Brent said, yes, I agree with you. I think that if someone dies and they get to whichever afterlife they believe in, they have a choice of what they want to do from there. If they want to reincarnate as a new person, they can. Once they die again, they'll remember all the various lifetimes they've had, and Brent said he'd rather not reincarnate personally. So I said, so I said to Brent, is this really true? I mean, have you validated this with our God friends? Yeah, we've got the goddess Lakshmi, the god Buddha, the god Horus, the god Mohammed, and the god Triton, as well as the god Jesus Christ living at Church Gail. Yeah, they're all living there right now. And I said, have you validated this with our God friends, or is this just a guess? And Lakshmi is a Hindu goddess. Brent said, Buddha explained that the afterlife is divided into different regions, and people can move from one place to the other very easily. There's a lot of freedom up there, and one's experience is completely individual and unique to them. So he implied that reincarnation is optional like anything else. So I responded, "How interesting! It seems that the Bible never explained this." Then Brent said, if someone hated their old life, and wanted to become someone else, or they want to try living as multiple people just for the experience, they can. So I thought, how interesting. And then I asked Brent, you don't like my idea of incorporating Hinduism and Buddhism into Christianity? I said, if what you say is true, we could incorporate Hinduism and Buddhism into Christianity. Brent said, I like your idea. It's brilliant. And I'm wondering if Jesus might allow you to help him recreate Christianity. And Iris said, oh, that would be exciting. Also, I was thinking, when Jesus marries his new wife, and these gods all seem to need to have some sort of religion they sponsor, he'd have to incorporate his wife's religion into his. So it seems God the Father knew he had to end the Bible in order to make it possible for Jesus to have a goddess wife. And Brent said that's possible. Then I said, unless the goddess wife becomes a Christian or is a Christian, or is the goddess of true love, and decides to just go with whatever her husband Jesus goes with. But it seems all these deities have a religion they sponsor. None of them are atheists, if you know what I mean. So let's say Lakshmi ever decided to marry Jesus, wouldn't Jesus have to incorporate Hinduism into Christianity for that to work? And I told Brent, I personally like the idea, like a lot of what's in Hinduism and Buddhism though, and would be interested in incorporating a lot from both of these religions into Christianity. And I said, I especially like Zen Buddhism. Brent said, yeah, I think those are really healthy concepts. And I told Brent, we are definitely soulmates. And Brent said, for sure. And then I asked Brent, you mean you think Zen Buddhism and Hinduism are healthy concepts? As you probably know, I was listening to a bunch of videos yesterday about Buddhism and Hinduism. He knows that because he lives in my apartment. Brent said, yes, I think so, yeah. They're very good for mental health, and it's a way to connect to the universe and God in a free way that isn't so rigid or restricted. It's very natural. And I told Brent, that's exactly how I feel. The new Christianity with Hinduism and Buddhism in it would be the most awesome religion. Brent said, Christians tend to shoot themselves in the foot with all their strict rules and judgments of each other. And I said, exactly how I feel. I have this feeling Jesus will be on board with our ideas. Brent said, Buddha and Lakshmi are among his closest friends, so I'm sure he will. And then I said, I think when he rebrands Christianity in the way I suggested, it will greatly increase his following. Brent said, true. People won't feel like they have to be so perfect or stuffy to fit in. And then I said, in fact, he could work with Buddha and Lakshmi and allow some Buddhists and Hindus to belong to their respective religions and Christianity at the same time. Brent said a lot of Christian religions use shame and fear to get people to convert or to keep them in or control them in general. And he said, I can see where people are turned off by mainstream churches because of that. And then I said, yeah. And then I suggested, like we could have some people be Christians and Hindus or Buddhists at the same time, kind of like a polygamous marriage in the religious sense. Brent said, that sounds like something Jesus would do. He's very easygoing about which religion people belong to, as long as they are connecting their spirits to gods. And I said, to good gods, not Shakpona or Kali. And then Brent said, yeah, no bad gods allowed, ha ha. And I said, it sounds like it will be exciting to see the higher Christianity. But Jesus still needs to find himself. How's he doing, by the way? Brent said, he's still in therapy. It will take some time for him to get back on his feet. Then I said, that makes sense. The issues are deep-rooted. You can't tell if he's getting happier? Or maybe there's too much stuff coming up right now to tell. Sometimes you have to feel worse before you feel better, like they say when you get the flu. And I said, I've been sleeping better the past 2 nights. I wonder if that means Jesus is getting better because my Gail shield is connected to him. Though it sure looks awful polluted out there this morning. Then Brent said, he seems more stable than he has been. It's up and down. He's making progress, but sometimes confronting his flaws and past mistakes is difficult. And I said, you mean flaws in thinking? Brent said, I support him unconditionally as someone who loves him very much. So I told him not to be so hard on himself and to just be honest and do the work. He'll get better. Yeah, he's in therapy with psychotherapy with Gerard Butler and Buddha, I believe. And maybe even Lakshmi. I'm not sure about that. I encouraged Lakshmi to go in there and help him out. Yeah. And he said, yeah, Brent said, yeah, his flawed thinking and past decisions. And then I said, thank you, Brent. I sensed that about you. In a way, you did him a favor by punching him out, because that's when he decided to go into therapy. I prefer to call it flawed thinking because I think underneath it all, Jesus has a beautiful heart. Brent said, sometimes we don't know we're on a bad path until we're forced to face the consequences and see what isn't working for us in life. That seems to be what his dad, that's God the Father, is helping to teach him too. And then I asked, is his dad in the therapy with him? Brent said, no, he hasn't been here. God stays up in heaven. And then I said, his dad must have a lot of faith in us. And Brent said, I'm sure he does. And I have determined that I am very much like Lakshmi. Yeah, and I'm leaning in the direction of thinking that I am monogamous. You can go to my website and check the most recent posts, to see my thoughts on that. But anyways, thank you so much for this. This will make my meditation even more awesome. Ooh, I can just feel the relaxation happening. Thank you so much for the gift, Troy. I greatly appreciate it. I have some awesome supporters.